Galimera, Galimera, Galimera. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm not sure if you can hear this, but apart from it being a lovely sunny day, there is a bit of a wind blowing. We had some real high winds last night. You can probably feel the wind now as I walk round to this side of the house. It's blowing the furniture around on the veranda this morning. I noticed the chairs all pushed down. Although we didn't lose any dustbin lids, so I'm not sure if that meant the wind was not as strong as the other day or on par with it, or we just secured the bin lids better. But anyway, just looking out this morning, clear blue skies, just a hint of cloud, just a hint, not too much. I think we are in for a lovely day this morning. I think Hillary Rogers will agree with me. It is a day for washing. Jane has got the washing machine on, and the washing is going to be going out today because it is a safe day for washing. Although she says it's a cold wind where she is. I've got to be honest, Hillary, I'm not feeling cold. It could be my thick blood, but I'm actually quite warm. I know where I walk round here, it will be really, oh God, so warm, so lovely, absolutely fantastic. And the sun is beaming through this morning, where if you remember yesterday, you couldn't even see the sun yesterday from what I can remember of yesterday's report. But anyway, there you go, absolutely fantastic, beautiful day. And you can hear the wind, I think. I'm not sure if you can hear the wind because I don't put headphones in when I do my broadcasts. But anyway, there you go. That's the weather. And looking across towards Sillaby direction, looking absolutely, it's going to be clear over there. And Hillary is saying, is that the sun? Oh, I can't read this. Oh, in the sun, it's fine. Yes, you're right. It is fine when you're in the sun. And as always, I'm going to sit in the shade of the balcony to give you the news, all right? And there's been quite a bit been going on within the last 24 hours here on Zakynthos. Big shout out to Sid James, who's tuning in at the moment. I always do that when I speak to Sid because it just reminds me of the Carry On movies. Right, okay, so how you doing? That's me. I'm looking rather good this morning. I'm feeling fantastic. I weighed myself this morning because, as you know, I fast 3 days a week, and my weight is the lowest it's been in quite a while, and I'm really chuffed about that. Anyway, that's by the by. Right, let's quickly go through now the COVID infections for the last 24 hours and see how they stack up. First of all, just to remind you that it is the 30th of January 2021. It's a Saturday, so everybody's probably lying in bed enjoying themselves on a Saturday morning. And also, I can't believe that we're almost at the end of January. So anyway, it's now day 87, is that right, Hillary? Day 87 of the lockdown, and COVID in the last 24 hours is as follows. Right now, yesterday we have had a spike. The day before we had 716 new infections. Unfortunately, since yesterday we've had 941 new infections were recorded. 2 of them were recorded here in Zakynthos. However, I will come on to that in just a short while. But anyway, that means that the total amount of infections since the pandemic started now is 155,678, of which 52% are male. There were entries identified, 7 entries were identified at the gateway to the country, and I'm not sure if that is up or down because I had just realised I didn't put that number in. Anyway, one thing that is up as well, unfortunately, but not by a lot, although those people who are affected probably would disagree. We had 18 deaths last reported. We now have had 22 further deaths. That brings the death toll here now to 5,764, and the average age of those people passing away was 79 years of age, and 95.4% of them had underlying health conditions and problems or were over the age of 70. Anyway, just to put that in perspective, The average death rate of 2019, the average daily death rate of 2019 would be 329 deaths a day. Anyway, the gender of the fatalities, 3,388 male, 2,366 female. So again, 22 new deaths recorded across Greece in the last 24 hours. Now, when it comes to critical cases in ICUs, which is another figure we should be looking at the moment, critical cases at the moment are down. We did have 268. We are now down to 260, 193 male, 67 female. The average age of critical patients is around about 68 years of age. And 86.5% of those have underlying health conditions or are over the age of 70. And just out of curiosity, the amount of tests that have been conducted, Greece has done just over 4 million tests, actually. New figures for that were just out. 3,114,419 tests, of which 1,021,835 were the rapid antigen tests. So that's that's nearly just short of half of the population of Greece have been tested. So that's a big feather in the cap. Right, now let's come on to the cases of coronavirus here in the last 24 hours on Zakynthos, which is quite an interesting story, actually. Yesterday, 2 new cases of coronavirus here on Zakynthos. One of them was the Zakynthos Mayor of Arcadia. And if you're wondering what Arcadia is basically Sillavi. All right, that's one of the old municipalities. If you remember, one of the things that happened in Greece was they got rid of all these individual mayors on islands, combined it into the super mayor, who is based in Zakynthos town, and basically all the old little prefecture areas all then basically lost their mayor status and have a deputy mayor. So what we're saying is the deputy mayor of Sillavi, or Arcadia as that area was known as, he tested positive for coronavirus yesterday, along with a cleaner who works in their location. Now, within a few hours, the deputy mayor, Mr. Nikas Spinos, and also another deputy mayor, Mr. Christos Pastras, together with the doctor from the municipality, Mr. Radula Spirikakis, in collaboration with the Greek Mobile Health, organised the whole process to carry out tests on employees of the municipality. So 188 molecular tests were performed yesterday evening on the employees of the Zakynthos municipality, and they were performed at the City Hall in Banato, all right, which those people know that was where the mayor would have his office. It's now the planning office for Zakynthos, and also it's a place where weddings are from time to time as well. So those tests were carried out in Vanato. Now the test results all proved to be negative. However, there will be further tests conducted in a week's time, just to see if there might be a latency in anybody testing positive. So at the moment, that brings the total amount of positive cases on Zakynthos since the beginning of the year up to 28. Also be aware that Zakynthos Police on Thursday morning, they arrested a Greek cafe and bar owner for a congregation of customers in his venue. All right, so don't forget, if you order a stand-up coffee, you're supposed to leave with that coffee in your hand. Anyway, the owner was fined €5,000, and 3 customers were also fined in the venue €300 for violating travel restrictions. Maybe they hadn't booked out on their phone, or maybe they had the wrong code on their phone. But anyway, they were all booked. And local police also booked one person for not wearing a mask on the same day, and they got a €300 fine. So basically, the police are out and about, and they're looking to catch people. All right, so just to tell you that you have been warned. Anyway, according to what was announced by the Deputy Minister of Civil Protection and Crisis Management yesterday, Mr. Nikos Karyladis, Zakynthos has been placed into surveillance code yellow. Now, you might remember there are 3 different states here in Greece as to infection levels. I'll call you at the end of the broadcast, all right? Basically, you've got green, which means the area is safe, okay, and everybody is, it's where we want to be. Red is the extreme lockdown, okay, which gives extra measures to civil protection, and the area that we've been placed into is yellow. All right, and the reason for that is because obviously within the last week or so we've had quite a bit of a spike in infections. Now, what does that mean for Zakynthos? Now, these are the rules at the moment, just to re-emphasise, and also just to tell people in the UK the measures that are being taken here in Greece. Now, this is us here in Zakynthos. This is not Attica, all right, which is the Athens area, which has been deemed a high-risk area. They are now what's classed as red, but Zakynthos is classed as yellow. And these are the rules that we have to follow at the moment. First of all, we must wear masks indoors and outdoors when going about. There's also traffic restrictions as well, where we must use the SMS code 13033, and there are 6 different reasons why you can leave your house. Or you work as well, and you will be given a special piece of paper to say that you have to leave your house to go to work, and you would present that to the police if you're checked. Also as well, the good thing at the moment, even though we are in yellow, kindergartens, primary schools and all special education schools are open, all right, at the moment. Also, not too good news for some people, the Supreme Courts and the special courts, they will stay open. And in addition, we have our nighttime curfew. That is still in place at the moment, where you must be in your house by 9 o'clock at night, and you must stay in your house from 9 o'clock through till 5 o'clock. And the only time that you are allowed out of the house, all right, is in a medical emergency, all right, between 9 p.m. and 5 a.m. in the morning. If you're caught out any other time, you're going to get fined, all right. Also as well, good news, we were worrying about this being rescinded. Yes, the secondary schools and the high schools, they are going to open on Monday as planned. We were talking yesterday when I did my podcast yesterday that because of the spike of infections, this might affect us right across the country. However, no, even though we've had a spike, the authorities have deemed that high school kids can go back to school, which is a good thing. Although there has been the worrying issue that younger people seem to be now coming down with the virus itself. So anyway, we'll keep an eye on that, but I am pleased to say that the schools are also reopening. Also as well, places of worship, churches and that are allowed to have up to 25 people. A limit that increases to 50 people in the case of the metropolitan churches. And a metropolitan church is basically places like St Denis's, the Metropolitan Church down in the town, which are very large churches, kind of cathedrals, to put it in our language. They are allowed to have up to 50 people in those. And again, strict distancing procedures are followed inside the churches. Now, when it comes to retail shops, good news is retail shops are still open, including hairdressers, barbershops, beauty salons. However, gymnasiums, unfortunately, they stay closed, and they've been closed now for quite a while. I'll be looking forward to getting back to the gym. I don't know I'm going to squeeze everything in the gym. I just seem to be so busy. But anyway, just a reminder that if you're going to go shopping, the code on your phone must be SMS code number 2, all right. And also something that's not been reiterated, where you're technically only allowed to be out of your house for 2 hours when you are going shopping. And again, I know being out for 2 hours is a bind. However, nobody said you can't rebook out if your shopping trip is taking a little longer. I know when I got stopped by the police yesterday, I'm not sure if he was checking the time on my phone for when the message was sent by the police to say that you're out. But just be aware of that. You're not supposed to be out for more than 2 hours, okay, when you are actually out and about, if you're out doing your shopping, etc. Also be aware that Keto, or Kateo, which is the MOT's testing centres, they are still going to be operating. We have one here on the island. And interesting, OPUP, which are the betting shops, The betting shops are still open. However, you're not allowed to play the machines in them. You can only go and put your bet on and then leave. All right. So those people out putting your bets on for whatever, just be aware of that. Now, you probably, again, we spoke about this earlier in the week on my broadcast. Athens Police are now forming a case file for a mass student protest rally that took place in downtown Athens yesterday. You may remember the Greek police implemented a law. No more than 100 people were allowed to gather, and they were basically saying it was for civil protection to stop the spread of the virus. However, a lot of people said, no, I think you're just basically trying to stop people protesting the student protest that was planned on Thursday. Well, that protest did go ahead. Basically, furthermore, the police actually didn't go in heavy-handed as they have done in the past. You might remember earlier in the year, for the commemoration of the killing of the young lad in Athens, the police were very, very heavy-handed in that and came under a lot of flack in the press. Well, the police yesterday just decided they would get their cameras out, record what they saw, obviously identify faces, identify people, and did not actually physically intervene into the protest march, which had over 4,000 people attending in downtown Athens. So the police decided it was prudent just to stand back, let the protest go on. Anyway, there were members of the public sector union, AD were there were students, there were teachers, there were parents, but nobody has claimed responsibility for the organising of it. And anyway, a file has been made, and it will be then up to the authorities as to how they're going to proceed with that. Just once again, that the protest, if people are wondering what it was about the democratic and the authoritarian measures that have been placed on the universities, which are also classed as sanctuary, and police and that were not allowed to go into those locations. And basically that's a thing that stems back to the 1960s, when there was a riot outside of the American embassy, and basically it was all a protest that got a bit out of hand, and basically a law was brought in where people were running into the universities to escape the police, and they basically had made that a standing rule. But anyway, over the years, a lot of governments have tried to overrule that rule, and it's always been fought down. However, because of COVID, everything taken a new direction, public safety and public health, it's another right that's been eroded away. And so people took to the streets to complain about that. Anyway, it was also noted as well that the police didn't even fine anybody yesterday for not wearing masks, or even trying to impose the fine as well for gathering of more than 100 people. So anyway, we'll keep an eye on that little story and just see how that plays out in the Greek media. And finally, you might remember yesterday, my finally story was about the parade on March the 25th up in Athens. I told you yesterday that Prince Charles has been invited, President Macron has been invited, and he's really keen because he wants to bring the French Air Force along to fly in the parade as well. Well, it seems Vladimir Putin has said through a spokesman that he has no intentions of coming to Greece for the march on the 25th. And the reason for that is, and I can understand it actually, there is a bit of a conflict of interest with Turkey at the moment. Vladimir Putin has been selling weapons to Turkey. I'm surprised Mitsotakis would actually invite the man, actually, to be quite honest, with everything that's been going on the Western Aegean. Russia is sort of sneakily in the back of it all. Turkey also bought new air defense missiles from the Russians rather than from the Americans. That upset the Americans. So Mr. Putin has basically said that he's not coming to the actual event of the actual parade. However, they've not said whether they might send a representative of the Russian government. Remember, the reason that they were invited in the first place was because Russia, France, and also Britain. They actually helped Greece get its independence against the Ottomans, and it was a bit of a thank you. However, Mitsotakis wants his parade. He sounds a bit like Donald Trump, actually. Remember Donald Trump, when he first came into office, insisted on having a parade. It sounds a bit of that at the moment. And with everything that's going on with Turkey at the moment, you'd be surprised that they can afford to send any troops to go and march up and down in Athens. And also the fact is that with all the rules on public gathering and everything else like that, you won't allow 4,000 protesters to go and parade for an intervention on their civil rights. However, you want the military to march up and down for you and show off your hardware as if it's a little warning to Turkey, don't mess with us. But anyway, we'll see how that one plays out and if we're going to have a parade on the 25th. Right, okay, let's have a quick look and see who's tuning in. Shane Bowen is watching. Nice to see you, Shane. I'm going to give you a quick wave back. In fact, I should really go. Hilary Rogers is obviously watching. Nice to see you, Hilary. Cold, windy morning, Ginge. Not really, not where I am, but she says, yes, the washing is definitely on. Sid James is watching as well. Big shout out to Sid James. Hilary Rogers in the sun. It's fine, she says, and I think she says it's day 85, not day 87. Somewhere I've gone over the days. Anyway, Hilary, I'll take it's day 85 then, my lovely. But thank you anyway. Steve Hinkling says, Gallimera, enjoyed your show yesterday. Thank you very much. Yesterday was a busy day for me broadcasting. I did my live show first of all, and then straight after my live show, my recorded show for Beats Radio went out on air. That's my anthem show. So I was jumping from one location to the next in the way of what I was doing, not physically, but in the way I was doing. And thank you to those people who turned up into the chat room on Beats Radio. Big shout out to Heather and Gary. Also a guy called Steve as well. Nice to see you in there. There's a few other people whose names have skipped my mind, but anyway, really enjoyed doing the show. There's going to be another one of those. The show's going to be repeated, by the way, on Monday. I'm not sure what time Monday, but Ben, the station manager, said I'm going to repeat your show on Monday, Ginge. So I'm really chuffed about that. Don't forget, tomorrow I've got my very first Northern Soul show going out on Beats Radio, and that's tomorrow night, 5 o'clock UK time till 7 p.m. And so I'm quite looking forward to seeing what the reception is of that. But thank you anyway. Cheers for that, Steve, for that little message. Susie Angus is also watching as well. Lovely to have you tuning in, my lovely. Julie Meldron is watching as well. Nice to see you. Caroline Davis is watching. Jack Harmer is watching as well. Nice to see you as well, Jack. Amanda Gregory, the weather girl, is watching. I wonder if she's put me a weather forecast down at the bottom there. Julie Meldrum says, good morning, Ginge. Have a lovely weekend. Well, it is looking like a lovely weekend at the moment. Amanda Gregory says, morning, hun. A sunny day today. Strong winds, but staying dry. Marley, last injection yesterday. All good. Now he's 11 kilos. Oh, my God, he's putting the weight on there. I'm losing it. He's putting it on, which is a good thing in some respects. Anyway, Lorna Grant is watching as well. Nice to have you tuning in, Lorna. Neil Facer is watching as well. Maria Heidelberg in Sweden is watching. I wonder how cold it is there this morning. It's not too cold here, I've got to be honest. I'm actually not cold sat here on the veranda, just to let you know. Danny Owen is watching as well. Big shout out to Danny Owen. That's a new name. Jeremy Paul Buchanan is also watching as well. Nice to see you here as well. Sean Bowen is watching. Sean Bowen says... Gallimera, Ginge, automatically translated. There you go, he's starting to speak. Somebody actually on Beats Radio came in talking Greek, and I was quite chuffed about that. But I had to correct them. They said Gallimera, I said it's Gallispera. Anyway, thanks for that. So it looks like I might be getting... There's a lot of Greeks in the Kent area, especially down by, where is it, in Canterbury, and also down in Margate. So I'm just wondering if a few of them might have been curious to have a little look in as well. Also, big shout out to Ben Warner as well from Beats Radio. Nice to see you here looking in, fella. Might drum you up some more listeners, all right, who are looking for an alternative. Just to let you know, there is a special show today. A guy called Mikey, I'm trying to remember his name. Ben is probably going to correct me, but he's doing a lockdown top 20. Yes, lockdown top 20, which I'm quite interested in. And I think that's this afternoon at 3 p.m. UK time. So why not go and check it out, beatsradio.co.uk. zakynthosradio.co.uk. Music that you want to hear, all right, blasting out around the world, and go check it out, all right. Maria Hadria is also looking in as well. Nice to see you looking in. And also Christine Coldwell in Leighton Buzzard is tuning in as well. Nice to have you checking in, my lovely. I hope everything's all right. I know you're very busy in the pharmacy, and I know the other time I spoke to you, it was getting a little bit exhausting with everything that's going on, because it's all being left up to the pharmacists over in the UK for everything. However, I've got to be honest, I think our pharmacies here are being a bit underutilised, actually. I think they are booking appointments for people for the vaccination, but you'd think that with the amount of people that need to get vaccinated here in Zakynthos, just having at the moment just the hospital dealing with the vaccinations, you could do with a bit more help. We're supposed to have had 5 vaccination centres, and now at the moment we only seem to have the 1 vaccination centre. But also we still need the vaccine. At the moment it is arriving, but only people between 80 and 85 are being vaccinated here at the moment in Zakynthos. So anyway, thanks for tuning in. Oh, Kev Hamlet, another ex-RAF Reg buddy, also film extra extraordinaire. Nice to have you tuning in. Bless you, fella. Nice to have you checking in as well. I hope everything is good where you are as well. Right, that's it from me for today. I'll be back again tomorrow with the news of what's going on. Don't forget, tomorrow I'm back on air tomorrow with beatsradio.co.uk with Northern Soul special, starting at 5 o'clock UK time, which is 5 o'clock UK time till 7 o'clock. So why not come in, join in the show there. And if there's any Northern Soul tracks that you would like to see here in future shows, drop them down and I'll happily insert them into the show. Right, that's it from me. I've got to go, and I'll catch you later. You take care and have a great day wherever you are. Ta-ra!